sound check. Wait. No. I can sound. Okay. You might. Oh, wait a second. If I put this close to the thing, then you're just gonna hear like double. Oh, that might be not great. What if it like does the thing, you know, when the mic is just like, and then the mic breaks? I think this sound should be fine. Still pull up the chat though. Does it work like this? Can I just e yo? I can't believe. Okay, yeah, I guess I can just do it like this. This is like the most ghetto way to do it, but I can just prop up my. We'll call it a stream deck. My stream deck. I'll prop it up like this. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I shouldn't leave this open. Actually, no, I'll leave it open. Helper mode. We don't need help. Oh, yeah. I've come here to accomplish a very specific task today. A very important task. Apparently, my future self is evil. Who would have thought? Because I'm so, morally, righteous. I've never done anything wrong ever. But now, lo and behold, one of the many, concerning futures, I, am not good. I'm a big bad. I'm a bad person. I'm a big bad person. And so, we have to stop myself. But I'm sure that my future self is of reasonable, what is it called again? Mindset, hopefully. And we can appeal to me, them, me. Appeal to them and fix things up. What is up, my dude? Hey. Yep, me. You. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. You. Are you there? I'm here. Okay. I'm listening. You are directly responsible for the deaths of thousands of people. Me? Is this like, how many years into the future is this? Have I already exploded my giant sun heat death? Then it may not be thousands, it might be billions. You're probably confused because from your perspective, these events haven't happened yet. How could you possibly be held responsible for something you haven't done? Well, you know, lots of people receive punishment for things they haven't done. Well, in 35 years, your future self will commit these acts, and your future self is you. You are both part of a single, continuous, chronological entity. As such, the responsibility for your future crimes also lies with you. Ah, well, to be, yeah, uh, I can accept that. 35 years from now, dude, I'll be like a fossil by then, in human years. I will not have aged today in, sun years. Cosmic years. You're probably wondering where you are. I have placed you in a temporary bubble outside time. You will be sharing this bubble with your future self, brought here from 35 years in the future. Okay? You are to convince your future self of the wrongness of their actions. If you can do this, you will alter your own time stream, changing your own destiny, and stopping your actions before they can occur. Why don't you just... This is what I don't get about time, okay? Can't just be like, hey, don't do this, and I'll be like, okay. I mean, I guess this is better than the radical option, which is, just kill me or something. I mean, if there's also a multiverse thing, then this only changes, like, what, I don't even know. You know what? Let's just roll with it. Yes, I will talk to my future self. I'll convince myself not to kill thousands of people. Shouldn't be that hard, because I'm not an evil person. Only then will you be exonerated of your crimes. I don't know that word. I'm gonna assume it means, I go free! Oh, I can't advance with space? I can click, okay. There is a limitation of the technology used to hold you in this bubble. Time will flow normally for you, but it will appear to loop every 90 minutes. Huh? Until you can persuade your future self that their actions were wrong, the loop will continue infinitely. Oh, here we go. And we start from 0. If you succeed, you will sever the causal chain linking you and your future self and alter your destiny. Before responding to anything, your future self says to you, think carefully. They will have certain moods. They won't always be receptive to the way you respond to them. Think carefully about your tone and your confidence in your conversational abilities. Well, I'm such a genius conversationalist. I talk to people all the time. I'm like an expert people talker. So it should be okay. Your conversation skill, your future self's mood, and your chosen tone will all determine how well they receive what you have to say. Is this a dating sim with yourself? Yeah, if I was a older version of myself and I was also evil. So yeah, I'm just like banging older daddy bad boy version of myself. I'm sure some people are into that. Your conversation skill, your future self's mood, and your chosen tone will determine how well they receive what you have to say. If you want to be free, make sure you are as convincing as you can be. Easy. Okay, here we go. I mean, no, not yet. Okay. Think carefully. Think strategically. And good luck. Ooh. Wow, they're actually telling the truth. This is really happening. What? We have stats? Future self has less empathy, but more rationality? Wait a second. Current receptiveness, rationality moderate, empathy high, assertiveness low. Well, look at you, just as I remember. So fresh-faced and naive. What? What? Who are you talking to? I bet you still don't have facial hair. That's a lie, I have facial hair. Wait, 1 second. You have no idea what I've seen. You have absolutely no idea what's ahead of you. Wait, 1 second. Turn the volume down a bit. Still a bit loud. Okay. Okay. That I do not know. You're absolutely correct. I'm almost looking forward to hearing what you have to say, but believe me, I stand behind what I did completely. I don't know what you're planning to say to change my mind, but it won't work. Stubborn, aren't we? It's gotten quite assertive. Respond rationally, respond empathetically, respond assertively. I suppose, let's see how this works. I can respond empathetically. I get it, dude. I know I could possibly understand, but I am you, so I could understand to a certain point, right? This is very odd for me too, believe me. Sorry, but are you sure this is real? Have we been duped? Yes, this is real, and no, you're not seeing things. I don't believe we're being duped either. Look, I appreciate this is weird. Wait, look, I appreciate this weird, especially for you. But it'd be best for both of us if you could wrap your head around this as quickly as possible. Let's not draw this out any more than we have to. But isn't that like what we're really good at doing? Drawing these things out as much as humanly possible? Let's go with rational. I'm intrigued as to why this is less weird for you than it is for me. Do you know something I'm not privy to? You're just as stubborn as I remember. Yeah, same to you, bub. Look, fine, yes, I know something you don't. Time travel was discovered during our lifetime, but it was quickly outlawed by the UN Science Commission. They claimed it was the only choice they had in order to prevent all-out war. Which sounds logical to me. They were probably right. The worldwide uproar following his announcement was unlike anything I'd ever seen. I mean, yeah, probably. You know, people would probably want to do a lot of things that, time travel and whatnot. The ban wasn't difficult to implement, as only a handful of the wealthiest nations on the planet had access to the tech in the first place. Yeah, fair. That makes sense as well. I always suspected that the ban was a convenient way for the wealthiest nations to keep time travel hidden and clandestinely use it to their advantage. You know, that's like some, yeah, you know, I can see that, you know, doing, government stuff, like, oh, we totally won this war, or... You know, isn't there a theory out there that, anything that was changed in time, if there has been any time travel. It's already happened, and we're living that reality now. But that's a little bit difficult to wrap my head around, and I also quite like the multiversal theory as well, whereas time travel will just take you to a different time stream. And you'll change that timeline, but not the one you're from. I've been expecting something like this to happen at some point. That's why I'm not as surprised as you. Yeah, I don't really have time travel, buddy. If you'd like to share some. Well, I guess I didn't really gain any insight. I gotta be a bit more assertive. Current receptiveness. Well, maybe it should have been banned. Who are you to say otherwise? You aren't a scientist. Are you? No, I'm not, but I know a lot more than you do about this. Okay, that's fair. I think this has to do with my stats. My empathy is not that high. Ugh. Oh, jeez. Why's my rationality so low? Okay, I got it, dude. The knee-jerk move to ban was so sudden, there was no debate or democratic vote. It was discovered 1 minute, then banned the next. See, this is why I'm sure they didn't actually ban it entirely. It just feels extremely plausible to me. Think about it. This was probably the most monumental technological achievement ever. Were they gonna just lock it up and throw away the key? Of course they weren't. It makes sense that governments would lie about a ban to the public so they could use it quietly in the safe confines of their own laboratories. That does make sense. Let me think. I wouldn't put it past them to use it on their own citizens to maintain order. People in power regularly stoop to new lows in order to maintain power and control their people. Time travel could just be another weapon in their arsenal of oppression. That makes sense to me. Let's go with empathy will probably work here. My empathy is higher than theirs, and they have a high receptiveness to it at the moment. It must be nicer to sound so plausible to you, but it's hard for me to feel the same. In fact, most of this has the hallmarks of a paranoid anti-government conspiracy theory. Which is true. Just some anti-government stuff, but I mean, I feel most people are like that. Okay. I get where you're coming from, but isn't the fact that you're here at all is proof that I'm probably right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've been brought here to keep you in line, right? Or me in line, I guess. This wouldn't be possible at all without the use of time manipulation technology, so it couldn't have been truly banned. Look, this situation is bizarre. Immediately after finding out time travel exists, you've been forced to argue with an older version of yourself. You've not had the time to properly process what's happening. If this had happened to me at your age, I'd probably have had a nervous breakdown. Perhaps. I mean, I'm just going off of receptiveness right now. I mean, I could just respond empathetically again, but like, would it work if I respond rationally? Wait, you don't remember this happening to you at my age? If I'm a younger version of you, shouldn't you have already experienced this in your past? If you haven't, this has to be a paradox. Well, maybe not a paradox. It seems that even this game version of me doesn't understand that it could just be a possible multiverse type thing, you know? Okay, perfect. I know it seems like a paradox, but I don't think it is. I assume if you're successful in convincing me of my wrongdoing, then you'll have changed your own time stream and prevented this version of me from existing. Let me check what happened. Ooh, I got a subscription. Wait, I'm still lost? Wait, like on Twitch? Wait, am I... Eh? Oh, thank you for subscribing, Bueno Mello. But it does show a YouTube icon, so maybe just being a clown. Anyways. Let me check that actually. Give me a moment. Sorry, I'm just checking the YouTube channel. Oh yeah. Why they give me notifications for YouTube on here? That's so weird. That's so strange. Well, that's nice nonetheless. Anyhow. You'll live on to be a version of me that behaves differently and doesn't commit the same crime. I will never have existed, and I never will exist. That's the point of all this, I think. I see. That makes sense, I guess? Response high to assertiveness, but I don't have a lot of assertiveness, but I could... Come on, stop beating around the bush. There's a death sentence for you, isn't it? I mean, for me, for you, for me. I mean, if I don't commit these acts, then you die. Or disappear or something, I guess, if we're going off that theory of time stream. Yeah, it is. It's not so bad though. I just ceased to exist. I'm sure many people would love an instantaneous, painless end to existence. In many ways, I'm actually quite lucky. It's a little bit edgy, but I mean, I guess my edginess doesn't really change throughout the years. But stopping me from existing isn't really the point. They could just kill me now if they wanted. The point is that they want you to understand why my actions were wrong in order to prevent you from doing the same thing. Okay. So, we're stopping me from becoming evil. I guess. That's okay. What did that disembodied voice say at the start? We're a single continuous chronological entity. If you can successfully convince me, then you have successfully convinced yourself. We are one and the same. Ah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, definitely responding. I'm thinking that, and it's things high too, so. It's all still sounds a bit strange to me, but I understand. You think you're a dangerous criminal and have a way to prevent your crime ever happening is arguably better than locking someone away or sentencing someone to death. It makes sense when you put it that way, but it's not easy for me to take. I'm the person being accused of being a dangerous criminal, remember? I didn't kill thousands of people, my guy. I really do wonder what kind of, what drove me to do something like that. You know, you've not actually asked me about the details of my alleged crimes yet. We've talked about everything else except the very reason you're here. Good point. I'd very much like it if you told me, why have you done this terrible thing? Why have I done this terrible thing? I'd very much like to know. Let me move my guy thing. I want to move my character. I'm over here, so... This looks good. Wait, am I covering chat like this? Yeah, I am, kind of. Let me check chat. There we go. This'll work. Okay. I've moved everything now. Can I flip myself? Or is that too advanced? Can I flip myself? I can't flip myself. Should've thought this through. Oh well. I'll do it like this. There we go. That looks cool. Alright. We'll continue like this. Let's respond rationally. I suppose that would shed some light on the situation. Go ahead, tell me what happened. What did you do? Or what did I do, please? It's a long story. You should get comfortable. Let me... Okay, I'm comfortable. Go. Okay, here we go. A few years ago, for me, that is, I was the overseer of a climate refugee camp, one of many the UN set up across the world for people displaced by climate change. Okay. From what I remember, it hasn't reached breaking point in your time. In my time, however, millions of people from poorer countries have been displaced by colossal flooding and destroyed ecosystems, and these camps have become their temporary home. Okay? Oops, one moment. Okay. As you might expect, there's constant bickering by the world's wealthiest countries over who will take the refugees in the long term. Okay. All the while, the camps have been expanding exponentially, and no one's sure how the UN is going to keep paying for them. Okay? just one moment. Just handling something on the side as well. Okay. My camp had about 4,000 people in it. It was like a small city. 40,000 people, oh my gosh, never mind. Conditions were absolutely terrible. There were times when I felt that they had been better off dying than fleeing to this place. There was rampant crime, poverty, corruption, and... What? 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 Wait, what? Yeah, I can hear you. Wait, what? Look, we don't have much time. We've temporarily interrupted the loop. Hopefully they can't detect it. Okay, this is freaking me out. What's going on? If we get cut off, we'll try and interrupt the loop again. But it might have to wait until the next loop for reasons that are too complicated to explain right now. Okay. Everything they told you at the start is a lie. No, not a lie, but not the whole truth. Yeah, I mean, I already understood that may have been the case. I mean, this is me we're talking about. I'm like not an awful person. I would know. I'm like my own #1 fan. They didn't tell you who they represented, did they? You just told that you needed to... Oh, here we go. I mean, they could be the government or something else. Like, they didn't say they were the government. Oh. Have you gone? Hello? Oh, I don't like this. No, 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 no. Okay. I grow stronger. Wait, you don't know what is... Wait, so we just start again, but... Okay. Well, look at you, just remember, so fresh-faced and naive. Oh, yes. I guess this is my power as the past self. At least I have this, right? You have no idea what I've seen. You have absolutely no idea what's ahead of you. We had this conversation. Of course I don't. You're gonna soon have no idea what I've seen, buddy. I'm almost looking forward to hearing what you have to say, but believe me, I stand behind what I did completely. I don't know what you're planning to say to change my mind, but it won't work. Well, let's just go through the loop again, shall we? Of course I'll respond a bit assertively. Aye, what is this? This isn't real, surely. What the hell is going on? Wait, I remember this. We've had this conversation before. I already said this! I pressure them, even though they don't want to talk about it. Why? I'm just wasting time. No, this time will be different. I'm afraid it is. Sorry, but could you try to calm down? I know this seems ridiculous, but it's absolutely imperative that you keep your cool. Look, I appreciate this is weird, especially for you, but it'd be best for both of us if you could just wrap your head around this as quickly as possible. Let's not draw this out any more than we have to. Okay. Okay, I respect your wishes. Let's move on. Oh, okay. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought you'd be freaking out. Well, I am freaking out, just not outwardly, you know? In fact, why aren't you freaking out? If this has happened to me at your age, I've had a nervous breakdown. Oh, I remember you saying that. I remember me saying that. This doesn't make sense. What are you hiding from me? Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. This doesn't feel right. Something is wrong. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm making this worse. My future self seems confused. Of course, they're the future person, but I'm literally just looping infinitely on them. They don't even know. I won't convince them by confusing them. I need to get back on track. We've gained this much insight? Insight banked. Empathetically, of course. Thanks for beginning to understand. There's something odd about this, though, isn't there? If I'm a younger version of you, then you should have been through this already. Otherwise, this is a paradox, and I've said this all before, but... It seems like a paradox, but I don't think it is. I assume if you're successful in convincing me of my wrongdoing, then you will have changed your own time stream and prevented this version of me from existing. You'll live on to be a version of me that behaves differently and doesn't commit the same crime. I'll never have existed, and I never will exist. That's the point of all this, I think. Yeah? Rationality is high right now. I see. So once I've completed my task, the bubble we're in right now will collapse and you'll cease to exist. This is effectively a death sentence for you, isn't it? Yeah, well, it's not a real death, I just cease to exist. I'm sure many people would love an instantaneous, painless end to existence. I'm actually lucky in a twisted way. What if I just respond with the opposite? You can try that next loop. You know, I've just been... Because in my head, I'm just like, oh, this is so easy. We're just responding the way that, the game wants us to respond, but... I mean, if we just brute force and hit low on everything, what would happen? Well, let's complete this run first. But stopping me from existing isn't really the point. They could just kill me now if they wanted. The point is that they want you to understand why my actions were wrong, in order to prevent you from doing the same thing. What did that disembodied voice say at the start? We're a single, continuous, chronological entity? If you can successfully convince me, then you have successfully convinced yourself. We are one and the same. Well, if you're as dangerous as a criminal as they claim, then the world is probably better off without you. That's a weird thing to say to myself. Do you think that to just ask what crime I committed? Oh, it didn't work, nice. You spent all this time questioning me about everything else, but you've not bothered to ask me what I actually did. Well, I kind of already know, but a bit. Another memory. I remember this. I remember them talking about it being overseer. about being overseer of a climate camp in the squalid conditions, but then something interrupts. Something I don't understand. They want me to understand, though. They want to tell me something important. Who are they? I need to tell my future self about this. I need them to understand. I remember your story. You're the overseer of a climate refugee camp. The conditions were terrible. You've already told me this. I know this sounds strange, but halfway through you telling me your story, someone interrupts the loop. They try to convince me of something, but get cut off before they can say anything. Does any of this make sense? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. This time manipulation device might be doing something strange to your mind. I don't know about... I mean, maybe? Don't worry too much. This sort of tech is way beyond my understanding. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some weird side effects. So wait, you already know I was the overseer. Did I tell you about it? The rampant crime, corruption, and... Wait. No, what? Hey! Hey, no! You're cringe, man! I feel like I'm supposed to tell you something. Change the outcome. I don't know. Yes, but stop talking. They know you're here. They'll just reset the loop. Not again. Are you even listening to me? Am I boring you? Do you actually want to hear what I have to say? Yes, I do! I'm not quite sure what just happened, but I really do want to hear your story. Okay, fine. It doesn't even really matter anyway. It's not like I can escape from this loop. We're stuck here with each other. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. The sickness. I don't like this music. There's a colossal sickness rampaging through the camp. I've seen outbreaks in other refugee camps, but I'd never seen anything like this before. This level of sickness was just so far out of my realm of experience. Thousands had died and thousands more were at death's door. It was just... Yeah, that's pretty messed up, dude. Yeah, it must have been very hard to witness. You know what was causing it? Yeah, it was horrible to see. Not knowing the cause made it even worse. I may have been overseer, but they didn't trust me enough to tell me what they were actually doing. Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean... Oh jeez. Are you saying you were not only unaware of what caused the sickness, but that your superiors were actually responsible for it? How did you find out? I was just about to get to that if you'd let me finish. Oh jeez. I was about to report the sickness to senior management, but I began to notice officials behaving strangely across the camp. Hushed conversations, late night gatherings, off the book meetings, and so on. When I asked one of my contacts about what was going on, he accused me of being irrational and paranoid. For a while I believed him, but eventually it all seemed too strange to let go. I snooped around the senior management offices when I knew they wouldn't be there. I didn't find anything incriminating, but... I found a room in the management sector that I couldn't access. I found a note from the senior management office. It said, "Please don't As overseer, I should have been able to enter every door in the camp. Something was very off here. I convinced another contact to give me the key code for the room. She warned me that there was no going back after this, but I didn't care. I had to know what they were hiding. That sounds like the next step in the COVID Delta virus. Respond assertively. I don't like responding assertively, to be honest with y'all. So you willingly put one of your contacts in a perilous position on the basis of a hunch? At least tell me that nothing happened to your contact as a result of this. I don't know. Given my current predicament, I can't imagine it was anything good. Poor Alice. I really wish I hadn't involved her. She could have met a grim fate. You shouldn't say her name here, dude. Still, the greater good is far more important. She'd understand if she knew the whole picture. She wasn't naive. She knew the risks. That's fair. I'm sure she did. It's sad that there might have been collateral damage, but if what you found was important, then at least it wasn't in vain. Oh, believe me, it was important. The room seemed innocuous at first glance, but then I noticed some paper documents on a table next to an unnetworked computer. I hadn't seen paper for a long time. It was very rare and only used when something was too important to be stored on a hackable device. There's no paper in the future? Man. The whole thing seemed very suspicious. Naturally, I looked at the documents. What did I find? Well, they were detailed reports about a bioweapon program being tested by a clandestine arm of the UN right under my nose, in this very camp. What? Human test subject! They're engineering a pathogen that would reliably kill about a quarter of the population. Ah, jeez. Okay. They wanted it to seem natural, like it had spread by common water contaminants. I didn't really do a good job about keeping that secret then. You know, I just figured out a great name for this. So, I mean, if I'm SunWon, and this guy's from the UN, or I guess my future self for being the overseer in the UN. Well, I mean, this guy's name is effectively SunWon. So, we'll call him SunWon, the future self. Okay. Every single person in the camp was a guinea pig for a genocidal weapon. Sun 2. But look how sick this looks, right? Like, makes sense because from the UN, right? SunWon. Pretty sick. Anyhow. Let's respond rationally here. Why would they do that? What could they possibly stand to gain from such a horrific experiment? That's exactly what I thought too. I was equal parts shocked and confused. I did the only thing I could do in this situation. I took what I'd found to my other UN source and confronted him about it. Sun 2 or bust? Sun 2 literally has no... That's so lame. Wait. Well, actually, there's not a second. I mean, Sun. It's the way you're typing, I guess. If it's like Sun 2, that would work. You know? It's growing on me the more I think about it. But I mean, it's still myself, so. We'll see. I demanded an explanation. I wasn't gonna leave without an answer, and he knew it. He told me everything. The justification? The wealthiest countries were never going to stop arguing about what to do with the refugees. None of the citizens wanted refugees near them, and the situation was only going to escalate as the climate worsened. Okay, so what you're telling me is instead of all these billionaires, these people holding like, what, 4% of our wealth, friggin' Jeff Bezos, Bozos, was like, nah, dude. Actually, isn't he doing space travel thing right now? Anyways, the plan was, instead of sending everybody to space or something or creating a secondary planet, no. Just murder the refugees. Some people in those countries blame poor nations for not doing enough to protect themselves from the effects of climate change over the past decades. They claim these countries spent their money on everything but climate defense, which is true. And it's true to this current day. Because of this, they apparently deserve to suffer the consequences. Empathy was in extreme short supply. Climate change. The immediate problem facing the UN was a lack of funding for the growing refugee camps, and no country was willing to increase their contributions. It was quickly reaching crisis point. They needed to do something drastic if they were to affect change in time. You sound like you sympathize with these mass murderers. I don't sympathize with these monsters. You think I'd be here if I did? Sure, maybe I had some initial sympathy, but that evaporated as soon as I heard the rest of the plan. They believe that a catastrophic population reduction in poor countries would shock wealthier nations and force them to accept more refugees. Why a quarter of the population, and why common water contaminants? Well, a quarter is bad, but not catastrophic. It would be terrible, but it wouldn't destroy entire countries. And common water contaminants? Well, they're present in much higher levels in poor countries, and almost non-existent in rich ones. If a quarter of people in the richest countries died, they would never take in the refugees. The climate refugees were disproportionately from poor countries, however, so they would be the ones affected by this bioweapon. From the UN's perspective, they'd made a harrowing choice in order to save lives in the long run. For mine, they were willingly murdering millions of people. Oh, jeez. Wow, I never guessed. Sorry you had to find this out, especially this way. But why didn't they tell you about it? Shouldn't you have known it was happening in your camp? Yeah, it was so surprising I could barely believe what I was hearing. I actually asked my contact why I had been kept in the dark. He said he needed a neutral agent to maintain order in the camp and not panic the refugees. I won't lie, I was upset. I felt like I'd been scorned by the very organization I was trying to serve. I felt isolated and alone, and so many thoughts were rattling around my head. Was I kept out of the loop because I was a liability? Didn't they trust me? Did they want to kill me as a part of their tests? Oh, jeez, man. Is it possible that they didn't let you in on it because they suspected you to have an ethical disagreement with their plans? It can't have been just me who'd actually cared about the lives of those refugees, can it? I'm pretty sure the whole camp wasn't full of rampaging psychopaths. But still, maybe I've always been a bit outspoken about things I care. That's what made me a good overseer. I really cared about those people and did everything I could to help them. That's why I took my concerns to my superior officer in the camp. I knew I'd be putting my position at risk, but I couldn't in good conscience let it continue. I only got halfway through explaining my concerns to him before he called security on me. He had absolutely no intention of hearing me out. I panicked. If I was captured, no one would stand in the way of their plan. Everyone else involved was clearly willing to go along with it. So I made a split-second decision that I've had to live with ever since. I ran down the corridor to the environment control room. I locked myself in and closed the camp gates, preventing anyone getting in or out. If the only working version of the bioweapon was in this camp, and all the research notes were here, then I could destroy them and end this right now. I think that's a noble sacrifice. And I told you all that I was not a bad person. Look at me sacrificing myself. SunWon. I also knew that it was being tested on the refugees, but I had no idea who was infected. Any one of them could have been contagious. That sounds like a plot for Resident Evil, but too, eh? Securities were banging on the door and it was close to breaking down. I had no time to figure out a better plan. I had to act there and then. I did the best I could. I really did. There was nothing else I could have done. You blow up the camp? I deactivated all the safety features of the environmental control system using my overseer access, and overloaded the entire thing. Every inch of the camp was turned into an inferno. It destroyed the bioweapon and the plans and killed every single person there. There was nothing else I could have done. It was a choice between sacrificing these 40,000 people or allowing millions to be killed when the bioweapon was released. I bet you're wondering how I'm still alive. Well, What? No! Hey! Shut up! Oh my god, dude! I want to hear what you have to say, but they can detect you. They'll just reset the loop again. Actually, I don't think they will. We've made some improvements, and hopefully, we can get around their intrusion screening. We were cut off last time, part way through, explaining who the people in charge of this loop actually are. They lied to you. They have no interest in absolving you of a crime. That's never been their goal. And that makes sense because wouldn't I just figure out about my future self and then he'd convince me rather than I'd convince him? Obviously the future version of me is going to be a better version of myself. They're not a government or an NGO trying to save their people. They're actually, well, they're probably looking to secure this formula, and they think that my future self is the person who knows it. And so they want the bioweapon. Ugh. Hello, anyone? Oh, jeez. Yeah, buddy, you think you'd- oh my gosh. Ah! Insight thing. I don't want to go for low stuff now. I said I was gonna go and see if I could do low, but... we're back here. I don't know what's gonna happen if I constantly pick low. But at least I'm getting a lot smarter about this. My stats stay the same. It's actually not really that fair. Yeah. Naive. Leave 0. I know what you've seen. I'm almost looking forward to hearing what you have to say. But believe me, I stand behind what I did completely. I don't know what you're planning to say to change my mind, but it won't work. I've responded rationally before. Just give me... Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Time travel. I know about time travel. I remember I responded rationally last time, it didn't really work. Try low. That makes sense. Technology may have advanced since my time, but it sounds like politicians are exactly the same. Very low, very high, high. Wait, what, incarnation? Okay. Let's just respond how the hell I want to respond then. How about that? We don't have to care about the receptiveness. That's right. In many ways, things are worse these days. I'll never believe a bunch of power-hungry politicians would willingly give up time travel. Think about it. This was probably the most monumental technological achievement ever. Were they going to just lock it up and throw it away? Obviously not. Of course they wouldn't. It makes sense that governments would lie about a ban to the public, so they could use it quietly in the safe confines of their own laboratories. I wouldn't put it past them to use it on their own citizens to maintain order. People in power regularly stoop to new lows in order to maintain power and control their people. Time travel could just be another weapon in their arsenal of oppression. Actually, give me a moment. I'm gonna be right back. Just a moment. Oh, what a miracle. Now I have pizza in this time loop. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I'll eat it. No, I'll eat some of this pizza now. I'm just like, oh. Oh, my God. Oh, thank you. Mmm. Mmm. Let's go. Mmm. 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 Good pizza. Mmm. Oh, let me move myself down. Yeah, perfect. Alright, perfect. Let's continue on our quest. I forgot what I said. Could respond rationally. Most of this sounds like a lot like a paranoid anti-government conspiracy theory. Are you sure you're completely out of sound mind right now? Wait, what? They're not being paranoid, are they? Something is seriously wrong with what I was told. Someone is using me. You're on the right track. Hello? Okay. Sorry, things cut off for a bit. Okay, we're back. It sounds so familiar yet so distant. Who is lying to me? Who do I trust? Hello? Hello? What's going on? You're not being paranoid. We're being used. Something is very wrong with everything we've been told. I don't know what it is, but we need to keep questioning. Keep doubting. Are you okay? You don't sound right. What happened to you? You sound extremely paranoid. Okay, dude! If I'm gonna believe you, then you have to believe me! Come on! I don't know, I can't remember. It seemed to make some sense at the time. Now it's just a blur. Look, it's fine. I don't feel so great myself. Also, this must be worse for you. I'm glad you're being empathetic. You know, I didn't really consider this, but I guess maybe you're also you have a receptiveness meter as well, looking at this, talking to me. You've not really had any time to properly process what's happening to you. Oh, I've had time. If this had happened to me at your age, I'd probably had a nervous breakdown. Wait, you don't remember this happening to you? At my age? If I'm a younger version, shouldn't you have experienced this in your past? Even if this has to be a paradox. It'll be this. Well, actually, I'm saying. Oh. Yeah, I remember this. I guess I was wrong then. Come on. This one's for you, isn't it? Or perhaps it's a death sentence for me. Who's to say I get out of this alive? Question. Doubt. Question. Doubt. Yeah, it is. It's not so bad though. I just ceased to exist. Blah blah blah. Yes, quite lucky. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I remember. They think you're a dangerous criminal and have a way to prevent your crime from happening. It's likely to unlock some way to send someone to death. But it's not easy for me to take down person because you're being a dangerous criminal, remember? You know, you've not actually asked me about details. We talked about everything except the very reason you're here. Didn't I spawn a server last time and it didn't work? Of course, that was thoughtless of me. Please go ahead, I'm intrigued to find out. Okay, sure thing. It's a long story. You should get comfortable. A few years ago, for me that is, I was the overseer of a climate refugee camp. Climate change. I remember. Why can't I just tell myself? I already know. $40,000 people. Yep. I've heard it all before. Every time this happens to my screen, it sends chills down my spine. Change the outcome. Who are you? What's going on? You can get around some of the amnesic effects of the loop, and that worries them. I was not supposed to remember? You need to stick this out. Keep playing the game for now, but don't believe anything they say. We'll help you when the time's right. We are always. This loop is dead. This loop is so dead. This loop is so dead. Don't believe anything they say. Don't believe anything who says. I guess I can talk to them, but it'll reset the loop. Yeah, I got it. And this always works, responding very assertive. I could respond rationally. Let's see how that works. Logically, I can only assume I'm either in a simulation or hallucination, in which case asking about reality seems rather pointless. Which, this also works. Some things will work as well, okay. I'm impressed that you're managing to hold it together. This answer might seem redundant to you, but I can empathetically say that, no, you're not hallucinating. This is really happening. Look, I appreciate this is weird, especially for you, but best, yeah, of course. I remember you saying this to me earlier. It'd be best if, for both of us, if you could wrap your head around this as quickly as possible. Let's not draw this out any more than we have to. I suppose you're me, you're right. We are right, we're right. Of course. Now, assertively, very high. What happens if I go assertive? You might not be interested in having a protracted discussion, but if you're in my position, you need some time to adjust to this. Why are you being so terse? What do you know that I don't? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me explain. Oh my god, I just alphaed myself. Time travel was discovered during our lifetime, but after great fanfare and worldwide uproar, it was quickly outlawed by the UN Science Commission. They claimed it was the only choice they had in order to prevent all-out war. Which I remember you talking about. I remember you telling me about this earlier. Ban was difficult to implement. Only the wealthiest people, the Bezos, all those people, they had access to it, so... I suspected that the ban was a convenient way for the wealthiest nations to keep time travel hidden and clandestinely use it to their advantage, which we've already discussed. I've been expecting something like this to happen at some point, and that's why I'm not as surprised as you. Well, I guess everything kind of works here, doesn't it? I've been expecting something like this to happen. There's no need to be assertive. You've been waiting for something like this to happen. I'm not sure you could have been expecting this, even knowing time travel had been discovered. It seems like a step beyond time travel. Okay, fine. I obviously didn't predict this specific thing. An organization using time travel for nefarious reasons, well, that was pretty predictable. And before you say anything, no, I don't know who exactly is behind this, but who else could it be? The only people that had time to travel tech, or the only people that had time travel tech were a few governments. Think about it. This is probably the most monumental technology achievement ever. Were they gonna just lock it up and throw away the key? Which is true. I mean, that makes sense. Of course, they would. It makes sense that governments would lie about a ban to the public, so they could use it quietly in the safe confines of their own laboratories. I wouldn't put it past them to use it on their own citizens to maintain order. People in power regularly stoop to new lows in order to maintain power and control their people. Time travel could just be another weapon in their arsenal of oppression. Yeah. It must be nice that this sounds so plausible to you, but it's hard for me to feel the same. In fact, most of this has the hallmarks of a paranoid anti-government conspiracy theory. But I know it's not. No. Someone... You're on the right track. Wait, do I trust his voice? Who is lying to me? Who do I trust? I mean, as long as I've even been told, I don't know what it is. We need to keep questioning, keep doubting. Okay. Sound extremely paranoid. I don't know. I can't remember. Now it's just a blur. So, if I'm remembering this, I go up, down, up, middle. I kind of want to note this down. Okay. I'm using the chat. I'm using the chat. Okay, so... R... A... R... E. Okay. You've not really had any time to probably process what's happening to you. If this happened at me at your age, I'd probably have had a nervous breakdown. I mean, assertiveness would work here, right? Probably had a nervous breakdown. Wait. What the hell? You're telling me you haven't been through this already? Surely it's a paradox of some sort. Okay. A. Exactly, it's not a paradox though. If you're successful in convincing me of my wrongdoing, then you'll have changed your own time stream and prevent this version of me from existing. You'll live on to be a version of me that behaves differently and doesn't commit the same crime. I'll never have existed and never will exist. That's the point of all this, I think. Wait. Whoa. If I don't commit this crime, then I'll basically have let the pathogen, or that one disease, spread. Which also shouldn't happen, really. God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hadn't thought of it that way. So, is this some kind of death sentence for you? Death sentence for me. We'll see I get out of this alive. Question, doubt. Question, doubt. Okay. E. Yeah, it is. It's not so bad, though. I just ceased to exist. I'm sure many people would love an instantaneous, painless end to existence in many ways. Yes, of course. Okay. I want to go rational. I can see how that makes sense. It's an inventive way of riddling the world of dangerous criminal without having to imprison and execute anyone. I guess from their perspective it makes sense, although I'm obviously not thrilled about it. You know, you've not actually asked me about the details of my alleged crimes yet, and we've talked about everything else except the very reason you're here. I responded to this empathetically last time. Of course, they'll stall listen to me. Please go ahead. I'm intrigued to find out. Okay, sure thing. As long as you should get comfortable. Yep. Yep. You're the overseer. Get out of here. Yes, I do. Sorry. No, where was I? Oh, yes. The sickness. How do you know about the sickness? And there's a second part. So, the first part is R-A-R-E-A-E-R-E. And that's how I get through the first part. I need to get myself to explain this next part then. Thousand has died, yes. Assertiveness? Why would I respond assertively here? You're talking about this like you don't know what was causing it. How could you not know? You're the overseer, right? I may have been overseer, but they don't trust me enough to tell me what they were actually doing. I had no idea. I was completely out of the loop. Are you saying you're not only anyone who caused sickness, but you're serious or actually responsible for it? How'd you find out? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to report the sickness to senior management, but I began to notice officials behaving strangely across the camp. Hushed conversations, late night gatherings, off-the-book meetings, and so on. When I asked one of my contacts about what was going on, he accused me of being irrational and paranoid. For a while I believed him, but eventually it all seemed too strange to let go. I snooped around the senior management offices when I knew they wouldn't be there. I didn't find anything incriminating, but I found a room in the management sector I couldn't access. As overseer, I should have been able to enter every door in the camp. Something was very off here. I convinced another contact to give me the key code for the room. She warned me that there was no going back after this, but I didn't care. I had to know what they were hiding. I know what they were hiding. I know the whole terrible story. My god, how do I know this? What's going on? You don't have to go any further, I remember it all. You found plans for a bioweapon. All the people in your camp were guinea pigs. In a fit of desperation, you attempted to destroy the camp, hoping to destroy the bioweapon in the process. I don't understand how I know all of this. It feels more like a dream than a memory. Thinking about this feels extremely wrong. How could you possibly know all that? Who are you? I mean, really? You can't be my younger self. thought I was. Now I'm beginning to question that as well. Maybe we're just different people. You're a UN interrogator, aren't you? What kind of game are you playing here? Whatever it is, it doesn't make any sense. Why have you locked me up in this strange place just to tell me you know everything? This is ridiculous. Stop this nonsense. Just let... Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Just making everything more difficult for yourself. You're also making things more difficult for me. Every time you remember something, you ruin this run of the experiment. I'm not sure why I'm telling you this, because it'll just be erased from your mind at the end of the loop. I guess I'm just fed up and need to vent. This is stupid. I shouldn't even be talking to you. Gulp, pulling back now. Wait, what? Wait, what? He just put me on the right path. What? So I just go A, R, 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 R? What? He just skipped me out. But it seems the correct is A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If a quarter of people in North's countries died, they would never take in the refugees. The climate refugees were disproportionately from 4 countries, however they would be the ones affected by this bioweapon. Yeah, killing all these non-rich people, of course. I could be assertive. These people are monsters. Wait a second, SOC, should they have told you about this? Yeah, even they thought they might save lives in the long run. Deciding to kill this many people is atrocious. I actually asked my contact why I'd been kept in the dark. He said you need a neutral agent. Yep, I remember you telling me this. That sounds terrible. I hate to be in that situation because they have suspected you have a problem with what they're doing. So I've kept you out of the loop. Yeah, it was... Wait, why am I right this time? I was wrong last time. Yeah, it was difficult. I've always been a bit ethically outspoken. Well, our parents raised to be passionate about injustice in the world, right? It's just what made me a good overseer. I really cared for those people. I did everything I could to help. Last time I remember and by I mean you, and by you I mean me, said that he couldn't have been the only person who have cared in that camp. Regardless, I'll mark it down. It seems I've become such a great conversationalist, and anything I say would really work at this point. My empathy is through the roof. Just like, in reality, of course. That's why I took my concerns to my superior officer in the camp. I knew I'd be putting my position at risk, but I couldn't in good conscience let it continue. I only got halfway through explaining my concerns to him before he called security on me. He had absolutely no intention of hearing me out. Oh my god, okay, this bot, okay, look. I'm glad you're here to give me this site, to become big famous guy. I'm trying to use the chat right now to log my process. So, you can, please, omit yourself. Ferganicky 12353. Okay. I panicked. If I was captured, no one would stand in the way of their plan. Everyone else involved was clearly willing to go along with it. So I made a split-second decision. that I've had to live with ever since, and I remember that fucking decision. Getting in or out, yes. Any one of them could have been contagious, yes. Yep, you blew up everything. Thank you! Every inch of the camp was turned into an inferno. It destroyed the bioweapon and the plans and killed every single person there. Now I remember you telling me about this, of course. There was nothing else I could have done. It was a choice between sacrificing these 40,000 people or allowing millions to be killed when the bioweapon was released. I bet you're wondering how I'm still alive. Well, yeah, tell me. Oh, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Before you go any further, what are you doing? Hasn't worked so far. They've detected it every single time. Your intrusion detection avoidance tech isn't working at all. You need to do something radically different, or they'll just reset the loop like always. Ah, right, okay. We'll try and communicate on a narrower temporal band from now on. It'll be harder to hear us, but it'll be harder for them to detect us. What? Your mission is to absolve yourself of your crimes, but not a government or after the fall of the UN. Huh? Trapped here for all eternity unless... Damn it, this is working. We... try something different. I'm getting chills down my spine, man. Didn't plan for it to work out like this, honestly. I honestly thought I'd die too. However, it turns out the environmental control room ran on a separate system in case the rest of the network became contaminated. I had no idea about this all at the time. I wanted to go down with the ship, as it were. Instead, I'm here reliving that moment over and over in my mind. Honestly, I wish I died along with everyone else. The constant guilt of knowing how many people I killed is almost unbearable. I see them every time I close my eyes. I hear them every time I'm in a quiet room. Talking about it now is making my skin crawl and my head pulsate. Ah, jeez. Yeah, this is survivor's guilt. Along the lines of like, well, I mean, you did plan to go down with them, right? So, this is the extreme case of the trolley problem. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't truly live. I'm just merely existing until someone decides to kill me. This isn't something I'd wish on my worst enemy. It's torture. I'm really sorry to hear that. At least now I understand exactly why we're in this loop together. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. What's done is done. Nothing can change that. Hurry up and get on with what you have to do. Go on, convince me I'm wrong, or don't, whatever. I find it hard to condemn you. You were put on the spot, forced to make a difficult decision, and made the best choice you could, given the information you had. I'm gonna get condemned myself. It's likely that you saved more lives than you took. I can't convince you that your actions were wrong, because I don't believe they were wrong. If I was in your position, I've done the same thing. This whole exercise is pointless. Well, that's good to hear, but it puts us in a strange position. I can't imagine the people running this whole thing will let you out so easily. Oh, jeez, you're right. How am I supposed to get the hell out of here if I can't even convince you? But I can't. It doesn't matter for me. When this thing ends, I'll most likely cease to exist. Still, I'd obviously like my younger self to escape and live our life. Have you got any ideas about how... Stop! My mouse! My mouse! Did you really think we'd simply shut this whole project down if you agreed with your future self? You will convince your future self of the wrongness of their actions. Even if you end up stuck in this loop indefinitely, it makes no difference to us. We can wait forever. Yeah, well, look here, Dormammu. I've come to bargain, and bargain I shall. Yeah? Yeah, buddy? Yeah, let's talk about it again. Bet. You think I'm gonna condemn myself? You suck! You can threaten me all you want, but it won't change how I feel. What? I've not threatened you. What the hell are you talking about? No, not you. I'm talking to people regarding this thing. Only a few minutes ago, I was refused to convince you of the wrongness of your actions, and they pulled me aside to threaten me. Wait, what? When? I didn't notice anything. Look, I don't know. I have no idea how they're doing any of this. I just know what I've experienced. And I'm still not gonna do what they want of me. I still don't disagree with what you did. You were put on the spot, forced to make a difficult decision, and made the best choice you could given the information you had. You probably saved more lives than you took. If I was in your position, I've done exactly the same thing, and this whole exercise is damn pointless. You hear me? Pointless. Okay. I suppose it's good to hear. The only problem is that you're now in a strange position. Yeah? Yeah, pussy? Oh, sorry. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, scumbag. You hear what I just said? It makes no difference to us if you purely don't do what we say. We can wait. You're just wasting your own time. I'm sending you back in. Make the right choice time, please. You think time is important to me? You think time is important to me? You fool! Yo, fuck themselves. Yo, kill them! What exactly do you think we're going to do as a result of your repeated refusal to do what we ask? Do you think that throwing an adolescent hissy fit will endear us enough to close this whole thing down? Do you think we'll set you free with no consequences? You know, your continued existence, I do what you say, is starting to sound a bit like desperation. Why is that, I wonder? You have no idea what I've been through to get to this point. You think you're suffering? I've lived through things you probably can't even comprehend. You're right. I'm kind of a bit of a dummy. I don't comprehend a lot of things. But you're gonna have to be a lot more convincing than that. Just to get to this effing place with the tech still intact after the Eurasian Resource War. Ah, you've said too much. Resource War, huh? You wanna just tell me who you are? No, wait. What happened? Come on, tell. Come on, tell me what happened. Obviously, I'm not gonna try and convince my future self anything except it. Oh my god, I literally don't have time for this. None of us do. I do! You put me in this infinite time loop. Yeah? Subject is displaying levels of resistance and memory retention that are incompatible with the continuation of the stage of the experiment. As per agreed experimental protocol, this iteration will be discontinued and new subjects will be located. Wait, what? Wait, what are you? No, oh god, please no. Wait. You closing the game? Tell me when to close right now. What? So I'm definitely not giving up here. Course. Course not. You think you can stop me? Do I have to start from the very beginning? I'm just about done with games force closing my window. Let's change the outcome. Okay. Yes, okay. Get me back to that point. I'm gonna sympathize until I can't sympathize any longer. Take me back. Take me back! Eurasian Resource War. Okay. Now, we're gonna have to convince, perhaps. Okay then, tell me, do you still stand behind your actions? Even after everything you've just said? We're in the endgame now, I suppose. Perhaps. Well, yeah, I mean, it was definitely difficult to talk about. But everything I did, I can't have been for nothing. I still think I saved far more lives than I ended. Just because I'm upset doesn't mean that I don't stand by my actions. I wasn't perfect, but I did what I had to in a horrible situation. What specifically did you think I did wrong? jeez. We got the whole kind of thing here now. Oh gosh, we got a whole choice. Think about my pizza. Let's take a gander, shall we? Accuse them of having being insubordinate before having any evidence. Accuse them of abusing the trust of their friend Alice, who might be dead. This cringe. Alice is only one person. Accuse them of being too passionate and driven by emotion. Accuse them of harboring suicidal thoughts without even realizing it. That's messed up, not doing that. Accuse them of being paranoid. That's also messed up. Accuse them of lying about believing they die along with everyone else. Accuse them of ignoring the fact that the UN wanted to save lives too. Accuse them of not having the proof that the bioweapon would be destroyed. I like that one. You wouldn't know. It was a really radical decision to make at the time. They could have had a copy somewhere else. You really think it'd all be in that one base? Now that I think about it. Based on everything you told me, I don't understand how you could know the bioweapon project would have been stopped by destroying the camp. What made you so certain that would put an end to it? You made no effort to confirm that this wasn't being tested outside of your camp, too. There could have been multiple projects across the world for all you knew. Which actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. There's a possibility you killed all these people and achieved nothing. You know, you're not wrong. I didn't have any further information. Seeing the offline computer and the paper records in that secret room made me think that this had to be the only version of the experiment. It made perfect sense at the time. I mean, now that I even bring up myself, yeah, I mean, I sympathize, but man, like, if there was more camps, you literally just killed 40,000 people for nothing. A little bit cringe. But I suppose there could have been other projects. I never asked anyone about the possibility. I became so focused on stopping this particular instance that I never considered the wider picture. That's right. Oh, we're back here? Passionate, driven by emotion. That's messed up. You wouldn't want to save lives too. I don't even know about that one, buddy. These are messed up. Like, they don't make sense to me. Like, that was the only one that made sense to me. Accuse them of abusing the trust of their friend Alice, who might be dead. You willingly put Alice in a terrible position on nothing more than a hunch, despite knowing full well what could happen to her. You could have just died so you could get your answers. I'm under no illusion about what I did and what could have happened to her as a consequence. I feel terrible. It was horrible and thoughtless of me. She was my friend and I let her down. I don't think there's anything to say in my defense. I'm sorry, Alice. I'm so sorry. Empathetically. Insubordinate for having any evidence? I don't know about that one. I don't know if you... Did they want to save lives? But a bioweapon like that, it's just... It's difficult to assume that things will be fine like that. I think it's fine for them to be paranoid. Am I really making the right choice here, trying to convince myself like this? Accuse them of harboring suicidal thoughts without even realizing it. That's too messed up. Accuse them of being too passionate and driven by emotion. I can say that. While being outspoken and passionate can be admirable traits, can you see how being so outspoken and passionate could have led to irrational acts? Being irrational is sometimes unavoidable. I mean, we're all human, after all, but with such an incredibly important decision to make, I can't help but wonder whether a person with these traits would have been in the right frame of mind to make it. Being emotional is to be human. Perfect rationality is inhuman. I mean, well, obviously me if we understand this fact, right? I sometimes wondered whether being hot-headed would lead to something bad, but would anyone else really have been in a better frame of mind if they were in my position? I guess we'll never know now. I'm really supposed to accuse them of all of this stuff. With high rationality, you argue that in killing everyone in that camp, you also destroyed the bioweapon project and therefore saved countless lives. But weren't the UN trying to save more lives than they took? They were developing the bioweapon in order this to prevent the climate refugee situation from getting any worse. It was a harrowing choice they made in order to save more lives. How is what you did any different? Which actually kind of makes sense. Or maybe not. They were coldly, clinically, and methodically planning mass murder, whereas I acted out of impulse desperation because they forced me into a corner. They spent more than 2 seconds listening to me. I wouldn't have had to make such a decision. You're right about that. That's on them, not me. You're definitely right about that. Assertiveness high. What if we just... You said you felt alienated by UN after finding about which the bioweapon you're worried they might want to kill you with their tests too. You know what I think? You've been playing dumb, claiming you thought you'd die too in the environmental control room, but I don't believe you. Oh, that's a little bit... You were an overseer, you knew what would happen. You knew you'd be safe in that room. You felt hurt and were lashing out to save yourself, and you've been lying ever since. You know, I don't even know anymore. I believed it for so long that it might as well be true to me. But everything you've just said could easily be true. I don't know if I feel right convincing myself like this. Maybe I've actually just convinced myself it was true in order to protect my own mind from the awfulness of what I did. I don't remember convincing myself to lie, but memory is a fragile thing, always morphing to suit one's own personal narrative. Perhaps mine has morphed too. I guess I'll never truly know. You said that you thought you would also die when you overloaded the mental controls. You even said that you wish you had died because you can bear the memory of your own actions. I'm sorry you feel that way. I can understand why you'd feel that way after the deaths of so many people, but I'm not sure you're showing me the full picture. I'm wondering if you were struggling with some intense emotional turmoil even before you discovered the bioweapon. That would explain why you were so quick to take an action that might have cost you your life. You may have already been feeling suicidal, whether or not you were aware of it. It's hard to admit, but well, I guess I should confess now, there's something I've been struggling with for a long time. It was eating me up inside every single day I was at that camp. The thing is, I can't tell you what it is. Not because I want to protect myself. There's no point in that now, is there? But because it has something to do with you. Something you shouldn't know. Don't bother protesting, just trust me. But you're probably right. I wasn't consciously suicidal, but I was struggling. Perhaps I would have behaved differently if I wasn't. I'm gonna accuse them of being paranoid. Your suspicions turned out to be right in the end, but you were insubordinate and broke rules without knowing the full picture. Rebelling the way you did was reckless and means they had every right to escort you out. That may be so. I'm not defending my methods. I'd criticize myself for the way I went about this. I just didn't see any other option at the time. You seem paranoid at the start of a conversation. Your main justification for you was that it felt plausible to you, even with no actual evidence. You understand? Why is my phone going off? 1 second. Hello? Sorry, it was a spam call. Okay, I'm back. You understood that parts of what you were saying sound like a conspiracy theory, even if you were adamant it wasn't. I don't really believe everything you've told me is true. You seem like an unreliable narrator. I don't know what to say to that. If I am paranoid, then my thought process would still make sense to me. It would all still seem real. I don't know how I feel about convincing myself like this. Maybe you're right, I suppose I could be unreliable, even unintentionally. This experience has been so stressful that I guess there's a chance I'm not seeing clearly. I don't know anymore. Deliver the final blow? Everything you've told me paints a picture of a paranoid, emotionally unstable hypocrite who acted without thinking and ended up killing thousands. You were hoping to die with them, but couldn't bear the guilt when you survived. You constructed a series of delusions in your mind in which the UN was wholly to blame, and you were a misunderstood savior. You discarded friends, you were insubordinate and underhanded, you jumped to a conclusion based on limited data, and acted impulsively without considering the severity of your actions. Most disturbingly, you seem to leap at the chance to kill those refugees without a second's thought. I'm most deeply concerned that you may have been subconsciously looking for a reason to kill all those refugees. I don't know about that one. I kind of feel a bit uncomfortable with what I'm saying right now. And I really don't know if what I'm saying is right or not. I want to know where that impulse came from. You're a future version of me, and I need to know. I can't end up like you. I won't. How dare you? I dedicated my life to helping refugees. I did this to save everyone. Oh god, I guess I can't hide it any longer. What? There's something I've been keeping from you. My parents were killed by climate refugees. Sorry, our parents, Mom and Dad, slaughtered in the streets of the very camps that they founded. Oh, oh jeez. I guess that's a pretty big detail that would skew me into believing a certain side of you. They just wanted to help them. They couldn't stop climate change. They couldn't force the wealthiest countries to accept refugees. All they could do was try and provide for them as best they could, using their influence. Oh my god, is this some kind of... There's racism now? And yet those people blamed our parents for imprisoning them. They didn't understand anything about the complex societal politics that our parents were struggling through, just to get the camp started. All their stupid, brainless anger just ended up laser-focused on Mom and Dad because they created the camps. They needed someone to blame. Our parents were an easy target. It was brutal mob justice. The attackers were killed on the spot, but doing so only made matters worse. Word spread to other camps, inspiring other misguided idiots to attack innocent officials who were just trying to help. Eventually, this uprising was quashed, but only through much more extreme security at every single camp. All this did was make things worse for other refugees in the long run. So stupid, such a waste. Wait. Would this make... But if you actually harbor this hatred toward the refugees, why would you feel so strongly about the disease? It was dogging the refugees, the disease. They both die, but this one was so much more rational, so why? Anyway, I vowed to carry on our parents' legacy. I did everything I could to maintain order and safety at my camp. No one dared attack me. They knew what the consequences would be. I didn't tolerate any insubordination. But it didn't matter how well I ran the camps and how well I kept the refugees in line. Every time I looked at their faces, I was reminded of what happened. All I felt was resentment and rage. I spent all my energy trying to turn this anger into something productive. I became a defender of the refugee cause. This took the edge off for a while, but I could never truly get rid of the deep resentment I felt. It was growing inside of me like a cancer. It was only a matter of time until I snapped. So, you know what? I probably was looking for a reason to kill all those people. I never wanted to admit this, but you've managed to get it out of me. Well done. Oh god. I give up. I just want all this to end. Just don't turn into me. Don't become all bitter and consumed by resentful rage. You can be better. I know you can. We can be so much better than this. We have so much potential. I don't even know if the decision I made here was correct. Please, just let this end. Congratulations, that was fantastic work. In a long time, I don't think I've seen your future self so thoroughly dejected by the process. I don't know. I mean, wow, they were well and truly broken by the end. It was a beautiful sight to behold. What? 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 Enjoy the rest of your life. Wait. I'm stuck at delivering the final blow. Oh wait. No, it closes it? Man. There's something I'm not getting here. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I swear. I can't just mindlessly convince myself like this. There has to be a reason for something, you know? Yes. But will I have to start from 0 again? Output mode. Wait. I think I have to hit play again. Okay, I have to go through this. Sorry. Because when I closed it, I reset everything. But this just doesn't make sense, because if it was a part of his... The logic doesn't follow through, because if it was truly done because of anger, then he would have been fine with the genocide. So, I just don't understand. Please, let's end. Okay. God, it sounds... What next time? I hate this. I hate this. I feel the chills. I hate this. Hey. You. Are you there? Okay, enough of this nonsense. We finally figured out how to interrupt the soup without being kicked out. It's time you knew the truth. We don't know how much you remember right now, so we'll just have to say our piece and hope it makes sense. Listen up. Since your time, the UN has for all intents and purposes ceased to exist. It was financially and logistically overstretched and collapsed under the weight of its own infrastructure. Okay? That makes sense? To me? Kind of? We were one of several groups that wanted to steal the time travel tech. We knew they were hiding. Before you judge us, we weren't the bad guys. We were young and idealistic and generally thought we would use it for good. All we wanted to do was to rebuild this broken world, and going back to the past to fix the future seemed like our best bet. But there were other groups vying against us. Everyone had their own ideas for how the tech should best be used, and some of them were better equipped than us. Another group got there first. They were led by a former high-ranking member of the UN, so they had an advantage over the rest of us. As soon as they acquired the tech, their leader stole it for her own use. She disappeared along with several other members. Nobody has heard from them since. mean, the only other name I know is Alice, so if it's Alice, but... God's sake. The remaining groups formed an uneasy alliance in order to find her and figure out what she was up to. After months of searching, we discovered that she had been secretly using time travel for some kind of twisted experiment. You are part of that experiment. In fact, it seems as though you are the experiment. She's had you trapped you in this loop for months now, and there's no sign she's gonna let you go anytime soon. You've been convincing your future self over and over, and the timeline appears to be unaltered. All this nonsense about changing your own time stream and stopping your actions before they can occur, it's just that. Nonsense. It's impossible. We're confident that she's been telling you this whole time to ensure your cooperation without any actual basis. As for why, we have no idea. We don't understand what she's up to. We've no idea why she's doing this. We just want it to be stopped. We just want it to stop. It's cool and more importantly a waste of brilliant technology. We've tracked her location, but we're reluctant to take her down by force until we understand what she's doing. It could jeopardize your safety. Our hope is that you can resist the amnesic effects of the loop and make it clear you understand what's happening to you. Maybe then she'll be goaded into speaking to you directly. If you can get her attention, keep talking to her. Figure out why she's doing all this. Once we know the truth, we can decide how to proceed. Very high, moderate. What if I pick the lowest part? Well, look at you, just remember. You've no idea what I've seen. I know. Everything works, apparently. Listen to me. Everything you just told is an outright lie. I can't change what you did by convincing you your actions were wrong. I can't change my destiny. It's all some kind of twisted experiment. Attention gained. That was not what I expected you to say. I need a second to process all of this. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now. And assume you're not out lying to me, but I'll take a lot more than that before I believe you. Wait. So I'm still supposed to go regularly, so I guess I won't go as early then. Just be patient and let me explain. I'm not sure what the point of the experiment is, but we've both been repeating this loop for months now. Every time our conversation ends, the loop is reset by whoever is running the experiment, no matter the outcome. Nothing we say has any effect on the external world or our timeline. We're supposed to have our memories erased each time the loop resets, but I appear to have developed some immunity to it. Okay, that's a lot to take in. Say I choose to believe that it's all true. Why don't I remember what happened in previous loops? Shouldn't I also have developed an immunity? Aren't we essentially the same person? Isn't it slightly suspicious that's only happening to you? It almost seems like it might be part of this experiment. They could have engineered it this way. It could be a variable change designed to gauge our responses to it. I don't think it's that. I was actually contacted by a rebel group from outside the loop who want to stop this whole experiment. They told me everything. Before I spoke to them, my memories were just indecipherable fragments. Now, because of what they've told me, I've been able to piece it all together. I know what happened to you. I know what you did. And I know why we're both trapped in here. I know the truth about who's running this experiment. And most importantly, I know how we can both get out of here. Think about how this all sounds. A nameless rebel group interrupted the loop to speak to you. and not me for some reason, and they told you the truth, which miraculously allowed you to make sense and remember everything? Sorry, but as much as I'd like to believe you, it all sounds pretty paranoid and conspiratorial, and hard to take seriously without proof. Rational. Interesting you should say that. I've accused you of similar things in previous loops. The parallels are quite striking. Regardless, the only proof I can offer is that I know things I shouldn't if this were our first conversation. I know everything you did at the camp. More importantly, I also know about the secret you've been hiding. There's no way I could know any of this if you hadn't already told me. If you do actually know these things, then I suppose it would be proof. Go on, what did you know? What did I do? Empathetically, of course. You killed thousands of people in a desperate bid to destroy a bioweapon the UN had been secretly developing in your climate refugee camp. You claimed you'd done the right thing, but then broke down and told me that, well, our parents had been killed by climate refugees, and you'd harbored a secret resentment towards them that you'd been trying to suppress for years. You admitted your split-second decision to destroy the camp might have been driven by this deep-seated anger. My god, I'm so confused. How could you possibly know all of this? It doesn't make sense. What is going on here? Who are you really? This isn't right. None of this is right. You said yourself that I'm the same as you, remember? The only way I could be exactly the same as you, remember, is if I am the person you remember. The main difference between us is that I know what's going on here, and I have no incentive to lie to you. Why would I? What would be the point? No, I wasn't lying. Why would I? What would be the point? Oh, right. I see where you're coming from. Still, why are you saying this to me? If you already know what I did, there's nothing else I can tell you. No, look. You don't understand. There's a reason I'm saying all this. You're right, about the one thing. There isn't anything more you can tell me. I actually want to speak to whoever is running this loop, and I'm hoping our current conversation will get their attention. They're using stolen UN time travel technology to run this loop, and I'm hoping that by talking to them, I can glean some insight into why they're doing it. I want to know what they hope to achieve by forcing us to have this conversation over and over. It just seems pointless and cruel. They're using stolen UN time travel tech? How's that even possible? I knew the banned time travel tech would come back to haunt us sooner or later, but I figured it would be because some government didn't actually surrender all their tech to the UN and hid it away somewhere to use themselves. I didn't think anyone would actually be able to steal it. It must have been locked away in a veritable fortress and guarded mercilessly. This doesn't make any sense. I understand why you're skeptical. Well, there's something I need to tell you as well. According to the group who contacted me, there were some consequences to your actions in the camp. With no way to solve the climate refugee crisis, the UN was overwhelmed. International tensions grew, cooperation broke down, and it all but collapsed. This meant that they weren't able to protect the time travel tech from anyone who wanted to steal it. The group that currently possesses it have decided to trap us in this never-ending loop, and no one understands why. So you've been breaking me down repeatedly, yet nothing ever changes? It feels like whoever is running this loop is deliberately engineering our misery. You might be onto something, myself. something like a infinite torture room for us because they hated our actions. They must take some sick pleasure in hearing me confess and break down. It must be someone who I harmed with my actions. Oh god. There are so many people it could be. I hurt so many. This whole thing is sick and twisted, but I can see how a disturbed person could see it as a poetic justice. In a way, it's the ultimate irony. It's... Oh jeez, here we go. Okay, fine. You have my attention. I assume those meddling pricks finally managed to speak to you without us noticing. Amazing work. Keep it up. You need to be as convincing as you can to keep her at her attention. Say the wrong thing and she might reset the loop. Try and get her to tell you why she's doing all this. While she's distracted, we'll move in on her location. Good luck. Shit. Okay. Fair play to them, I guess. They must have put some serious effort into improving their detection avoidance tech. They're worthy if annoying rivals. Who the hell are you? You haven't figured it out yet? Come on. I'm the only person your future self ever mentions by name. Alice, right? Yeah, I knew it! I've sat through their story hundreds of times, and it's only ever me, no one else. Okay, Alice. It's hard to remember the conversations, but Alice, I presume? Yes, you're right, but... Actually, I shouldn't be talking to you. Wait, what? No, wait. Wait, what? Already? I already failed? What? We know how frustrating this must be for you. It's hard to stay focused when you're repeating the same things over and over. You're doing a great job though, keep it up. Just stay the course and you'll get there. We believe in you. Oh, God, jeez. Before we go any further, I should let you know that everything you were just told is a lie. I can't change what you did by convincing you your actions were wrong. I can't change my so-called destiny. This action experiment. The goal, which is currently unclear. Okay, that was unexpected. I need a second to process all this. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt for now and assume you're not mentally unbalanced or deliberately messing with me, but I'll need a lot more information than that before I believe you. I know just how this all must sound. Just let me explain. I'm not sure what the point of this experiment is, but I do know that we've both been stuck in this loop arguing with each other for months, yet nothing is changing in the external world. We're supposed to have our memories erased every time the loop resets, so we don't realize we're in a never-ending cycle, but for some reason I'm now able to remember what happens. In fact, I remember us having this conversation already. I've already told you everything I'm about to tell you. I'm just repeating the same things over and over again in a bit to get the attention of the people running this thing, and it's getting a bit tiring, quite frankly. Look, it's getting tiring for us too. You think you've experienced this over and over again, but it's nothing compared to the amount of times we've had to sit through it. At least you've only recently started to remember. We've been observing this loop for a long, long time. Oh, I see. Sorry, that came off really badly. I didn't mean to sound rude. No, I get it. This must be frustrating for you too. You're doing a great job, carry on. Okay, that's a lot to take in. Say I choose to believe that's all true. Well, I remember what happened in the previous loops. Nice, actually the same person. Blah 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 blah, yeah, I got it, dude. No, it's something else. Look, I know you think this sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I was actually contacted blah blah blah, not... I know everything, what you did. I know the ramifications, your actions. Yep, Yeah, that sounds really quite paranoid and conspiratorial. Yes, I do. Yeah, I know. Oh, come on, keep yourself together. The more you complain about, the harder it'll be to convince your future self. I know. If you think you sound like a conspiracy, change your story. You don't have to tell them it's the literal truth. You just want to get the attention of the people wearing this thing. That's it. The truth is irrelevant. You want me to lie? You're happy with me lying as long as you get what you want? Is that it? No, again, I'm sorry for sounding impatient. It's been a really long project for us, and we really do appreciate what you're doing. We want the same thing as you. We want this experiment stopped. Just keep doing what you're doing. It'll eventually work. We'll wait as long as we need to. You don't take that tone with me. I don't remember any of this. Okay, sorry. Let's just move on. Look, the only proof I can offer is that I know things that I shouldn't. If this were actually a first conversation, I know about everything you did at the camp. I know about everything that happened to you. More importantly, I know about the secret you've been hiding from the world. There's no way I could know this unless you already told me. Yep. And of course, I respond empathetically, such as last time. Oh, none of this is right, of course. You said yourself that I'm the same as you, remember? The only way I could be exactly the same as you, remember, is if I am the person you remember. The main difference between us is that I know what's going on here and I have no incentive to lie to you. Why would I? What would be the point? No, I wasn't lying. What would be the point? Alright, I see where you're coming from. Of course there's nothing else you can tell me, but the reason I'm saying it is because I want to speak to who's running the... I want to speak to Alice. They're using the time travel. So Yep, and I have to explain to you how they got it. Yep. Yep. Oh god. Yep. But it's Alice. Okay. If you insist on taking that approach with your future self, then I guess I have no option but to speak to you again. This run is ruined now anyways. Okay, where did we get to in our previous conversation? Right, you just figured out who I am. I'm surprised it took you this long to figure out. You've shown yourself to be pretty insightful for the most part. Anyway, I assume you have a lot of questions. Ask away. Why are you doing this? What are you hoping to achieve? It just seems pointless and cruel. More pointless and cruel than killing thousands of innocent people? You've been told exactly why I'm doing this so many times. If you can convince your future self that your actions were wrong, you might change your own future. What part of that is cruel or pointless? Look, I don't even know why you're asking me. You've been told this many, many times. What? You know I'm not a scientist, so I can't pretend to fully comprehend the motivation behind your research, but it seems clear that what you're attempting is logically impossible. We are a product of one specific timeline, and the causal framework that created us would no longer exist if you change this timeline. It is a paradox. Like I said, multiversal theory! Your rivals that contacted me came to the same conclusions. They think it's needlessly cruel or logically nonsensical. That's interesting. Before I isolated my team, there were several conversations with leaders of other factions which all expressed an interest in this project. There was no doubt or criticism, at least not to the degree you're describing here. Why are you lying to me about this? Are you trying to manipulate me? No. Why would I bother lying? You could just reset the loop if you discover that's the case. You have all the power here. Just listen to me for a minute. Your behavior supports my theory. You claim this is a legitimate experiment, but at no point have you let me or my future self leave the loop. I've been in here for months repeating the same thing over and over. If you want to actually test the technology, Surely, you need to see how it affects the world outside this bubble when we leave. You have to admit it. It really sounds like a convenient excuse to trap both me and my future self and make us miserable. It sounds like you're just trying to punish us for something my future self did to you under the pretense of running a bizarre experiment. I understand why it might seem that way, but you have it all wrong. You haven't been released from the loop yet, because we're still in the testing phase. We're discerning whether there are any side effects from long-term exposure to the technology. Clearly there are, because I remember things. The fact that you are now able to remember what happened in previous loops is valuable insight into the limits of the technology. All this is need to happen before we could test any timeline changes. If you had any real information about the experiment, you would understand. I might not be a part of your team, but I'm very much part of this experiment, and I'm your test subject for Christ's sake. Sure, now I can remember what happened in the previous loops, but I've been trapped here for months. Assuming you intended to use this tech, there's no way you would trap anyone here for even close to as long as you've kept me. You get results way before this point. No, you're doing this for your own amusement. I can tell from the way you reacted. Yes, you are my test subject, which is exactly why I shouldn't be speaking to you. Uh-oh. Resetting the loop now. Oh, crap. Focus. We want to apologize profusely for the impatience we showed during the previous loop. It fell far below our standards of professionalism and it won't happen again. The person who spoke to you, well, they have been removed. What? We'd also like to reiterate that we fully empathize with how difficult this can be. The repetition can be mind-numbing at times. It's all for the greater good though. Keep at it and we'll finally be able to stop this experiment once and for all. Okay, once again. Okay. Believe me as per usual. Yep. Yep. You know what? It doesn't matter. Just stick to the script. I don't want to argue again. Okay, good. What the hell are you talking about? You talking to me? Look, say I choose to believe everything you're saying is true. Yep. Yep. Alright. Nope, it's something else. Look. It's true. I don't think it's that. I was actually contacted by a rebel group from outside the loop who wanted to stop this whole experiment. They told me everything before I spoke to them. My memories were just indecipherable fragments. Now because of what they've told me, I've been able to piece it all together. I know what happened to you. I know what you did. I know why we're both trapped in here. I know the truth of who's running the experiment. And most importantly, I know how we can both get out of here. Yes, of course. Yes. Don't take that tone with me. You're no different. I've accused you of exactly the same thing from previous loops. Also, I have proof. Yep. Oh, okay, point taken. Go on. What did I do? What's my secret? Found a bioweapon. Destroy whole camp. Parents were killed by climate refugees. Secret resentment. You made your split-second decision to destroy the camp might have been driven by deep-seated anger. My god, that's exactly right. I have no idea how you can know all this. It doesn't make any sense. Yep. And then, yeah, I understand. The only way can be remembered is I am the person you remember. Obviously, I wouldn't be lying to you. Ah, why is there no skip? What do you want me to say if you already know what's the point? Yep, I only care about the people wearing this thing. Why? Time travel, you don't understand. Well, there's something you should know. Blah blah, blah. Acquired. So you've been breaking me down repeatedly, yet nothing ever changes. Feels like whoever's running is deliberately engineering our misery. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh god. Poetic justice. In a way, it's the ultimate irony. It's... Bring me back. Alice! And again, another run ruined. I hope these meddling dickheads are happy. They're ruining this experiment. Right. What we get to in our previous conversation. Oh yeah, you claim that because you've been in the soup for months, I couldn't possibly be running a legitimate experiment. Look, I'm just being as responsible as a scientist as I can be. It's hard doing work like this in such a broken world. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying my best. Also, this technology is volatile and untested, and therefore its limits need to be fully explored before wider use is even considered. This is just how science works. There's no hidden agenda. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I think deep down you know the truth, but you're unwilling to accept it. I understand. I really do. My future self destroyed your life. My future self killed thousands of people. My future self may have even been inadvertently destroyed the most important organization in the world, and these acts are appalling, perhaps even unforgivable. Oh, my rationing, empathy, and assertiveness are higher than hers now. But once you discovered that the time travel tech was no longer safeguarded, you saw an opportunity to exact revenge. You spent a long time devising this experiment to obscure your true intentions and sell the lie to your team, but you must know that was never your true goal here. I can't be bothered trying to explain myself any longer. You're never satisfied. It's gone on far too long. What? I just keep coming back stronger. I'm gonna start eating pizza while I do this, man. Yep. It's about changing my destiny. It's about some kind of strange experiment I don't quite understand. I really don't quite understand. Yep, take a moment. Are you good? Okay. Wait, why am I complaining again? Wait. Can I just say whatever I want here? Yep. How about you spawn very low? Yeah, I know. Okay. I got it. Okay. So I guess I really do have to be talking about the other thing. Yep. 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 And then I tell him this. I tell myself this. Well, you're right. There's nothing else you can tell me. I'm sorry for upsetting you, but there was no other choice. And there's anything more you can tell me. I'm trying to get the attention of people running the loop. They're using stolen time travel tech for some strange purpose, and I want to speak to the leader to figure out what they're actually doing. I want to know what they hope to achieve by forcing it to have this conversation over and over. It just seems pointless and cruel. Yep. Alright, let me explain to you. Yep. Consequences. UN collapse. Yep. Alice, arise! I don't deserve to be free. Wait, what? Wait, what? Well, that was an unconventional approach, but it worked. You did it again. Your future self was well and truly dejected at the end. Well done. I suppose there's no point keeping up the pretense that I'm freeing you from the loop now, is there? Well, no, I suppose not, but nothing. There's an experiment and we'll stick to experimental protocol. Wait, if I get one wrong, then... I can't get a single one wrong. Or was that supposed to happen? Okay. Stick to receptiveness. Yes. Understand. Listen to me. Everything you just told us are a lie. I can't change what you did by convincing you your actions were wrong. I can't change destiny. There's not some kind of experiment. Okay. We're not gonna loop again. Sorry. I know how this must sound, but just let me explain. I'm not sure what the point of the experiment is. Yep. For some reason, I'm not able to remember what happened. I don't remember us. You know what? It doesn't matter. Let's get script. I don't want to argue again. A-E. Yep. No, it's something else. You'll know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I was actually contacted by a rebel group. Blah blah. Yep, now I remember everything. Don't take that tone with me, you're different, I'm sure you playing previous loops. Yep, okay. It's my secret. Of course I respond empathetically. Yep. Okay. What do you say at the start of this conversation? I'm just as you remember. The only way I could be as you remember is if I am the person you remember. Right now, the only difference between us, apart from age, is what I know what's going on here, and I have no incentive to lie to you. What would I gain from it? Yep. No, you don't understand. Next part of my plan, Alice. I'm sure that's getting a little bit mind-numbing for the audience as well. Don't worry, SunWon will get to the bottom of this. Yep, I'll just explain to myself that, everything was destroyed. Alright, take me, Alice. Poetic justice. And this one is ruined. Again. Alice! Okay, if you insist on taking that approach with your future self, then I guess I have no option to speak to you again. This one's ruined now anyway. Yeah? You're partially right. I'm upset with your future self. I admit that much. They acted rashly, and the ramifications of their actions have been felt across the world. But this really isn't the reason I picked you as a test subject. I'm not trying to punish you. Now I'm confused. You generally think your experiment could work. Your motivation for picking me and my future self seems less sinister now, and you have the backing from other factions? Then why did they contact me? Why did they plead ignorance about your experiment? Why would they deliberately lie to me? I'm starting to feel like I might have been used. I don't understand. The only thing I kept hidden from them was my location, and that was only for security purposes. I told them everything else. They knew my motivations, my methods, my hypotheses. I was completely open and honest. Everything seemed fine when I last spoke to them. The environment was competitive and tense. Sure, but I felt like we always shared unanimous understanding. Did they lie to me? Had they been planning something this whole time? Are these the people trying to capture you? Oh no. No. No, I know what they've been doing. Oh my god, how could you not seen this? I've been so focused on my research that there's no way I could have seen it coming. I don't believe it. They've used you against me. I never thought they'd stoop to something so low, but I guess I was wrong. You've doomed us. We're all dead. It's the rebel group. I'm actually impressed you managed to keep it distracted for that long. You performed brilliantly, far better than expected. Thanks to you, we were able to infiltrate her location and take out her entire team. Now we finally have our hands on the time travel tech again. It was necessary, it had to be done. There are other options. We weren't gonna let her keep tech all to herself for ridiculously idealistic goals. She was being childish and naive. It would never have worked. Why did you lie to me? I would have thought that was obvious. You would never have helped us, would you? We told you you needed to hear so you would do what we required from you. It's pretty simple, really. Monsters. Oh please, you came from a peaceful time with plentiful resources. You have no idea what the world is like now. It's so much more worse than you can imagine. Much of the planet is unlivable. Most governments have collapsed. Billions have died and billions more on the verge of death. You call us monsters, but if you could see this world, then you'd learn very quickly we're no different from anyone else. We do what we need to do to survive, and this time travel tech is the best hope we all have for survival. What are you planning to do with it? We're not planning on changing the past, that's for sure. It's a dead end. This world is ruined, and it'll always end up ruined. There's no changing that. We're all going to use tech to travel back into a more comfortable and prosperous time period where we can live out their lives in peace and safety. If humanity insists on destroying this world, then to hell with humanity. That is so selfish. You stole the tech and killed Alice and the team just so you could have an easy life? Even if you didn't think her experiment would work, you didn't have to destroy it and kill her. You didn't even give her a chance. You've changed your tune. Only a few minutes ago you were arguing with Alice, trying to convince her that her experiment was some nonsense. That's because you lied and manipulated me. Oh my god, I feel sick. Cyber, it take us too long to figure out how to safely remove you and your future self from this bubble. Everyone who would know how to do that is dead. So we're just turning the whole thing off. It causes damage to, if it causes damage to the timeline, well, F the timeline. We're traveling back to the past anyway, to hell with all this. Thanks again for helping us. Shut it down. And my window closes. Oh, that's it. Aye. Is this really the end then? I'm just feeling shivers, man. Oh, jeez. I like this game. Thank you so much for playing. Is there no other ending? Is there anything else I can do? That's no, you me and my future. So it literally continues until I beat the game. It really does continue until I just beat it. Wow. Oh, I'm actually sweating. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's crazy. Let me. Wow. 1 second. Okay. Let me search this up. Future. Your future self endings. Okay, my phone's popping off. So let me look through this. Huh. Oh, the developer commented this. Alright, so someone was talking about the ending spoilers. I'll just read what the developer said. Okay, this guy says, so throughout the game, it's repeatedly stated that the experiment is pointless because no matter how many successful loops you run through, the past can't change because of the paradox it causes. Yet, at the end of the rebels infiltrate Alice's location and murder her team before revealing the ultimate goal to you, and then they shut down the loop before jumping back in time to live the easy life. But wouldn't this cause a paradox as well? If you were removed from the timeline when this shutdown happened, it would create a paradox. If it restored you to your timeline, it would also create a paradox. Assuming you retain any memory of what happened in the loop, I assume you would, well, Alice's experiments would be even more pointless than they already were. The developer responds with, hey, developer here, you're right. It seems a bit of a contradiction given everything said up to that point about paradoxes. But the important thing to note here is that the rebels lied to you throughout the game. They told you that her experiment was pointless and couldn't possibly work as a deliberate ploy to make you do what they wanted. Nothing they said can be trusted. Alice, on the other hand, is pretty straight with you and seems to believe her experiment could work. The rebels also said that they don't particularly care what effects their actions have. They just want to get away from the miserable time they came in. Will that create a paradox? No idea. Basically, the story doesn't take a particular stance on whether we can change the past or not. You could argue it's inherently paradoxical that time travel must end up as a closed loop, or you could argue for the many worlds interpretation, or many other theories probably. I deliberately didn't want to take a stance because it's a bit of a minefield. I actually initially wanted to write a good ending where you successfully stop the rebels, continue with the experiments, and change the future by not interfering with the bioweapon program. Whether that's good or not is open to interpretation. But I realize this could cause a whole load of logical problems for the story. I don't know. It still might put in. I still might put in another ending if I can think of a good way of doing it. This was in 2019. And this person's talking about getting the two endings, sympathizing and ending the test early, which I did. Hmm. Convince the rebels at the moment they shut it down. I see. Interesting. So I guess that's it. That's the end of the game. Thank you everyone for spending the time here with me. I was trying to end something, but it seems like in the future I'm murdered. And this group is murdered by this organization that just is greedy. And what is the moral of the story? People suck. People really suck. And guns are pretty good, I guess. Uh, yeah, wow. This is just kind of messed up. It's a little messed up. But yeah, I mean, thank you everyone for coming along today. If you're not already following me on Twitch or Twitter, give me a follow there, and you'll get updates when I start streaming. And tomorrow I may be streaming a new game. I think it'll take 2 playthroughs to get through, so I'll have 2 streams of that. And I am going to be what is it called again? Yes, I'm gonna be releasing a new video on Friday. So if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube, give me a subscription there, please, and thank you. Other than that, I'll be finding someone else to host now, and I guess I'm just gonna have to sit and process my actions in this game and how I was tricked uh these with this trust and all. But yeah, thanks so much everybody for coming around. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll play a less thought provoking game, hopefully. Well, I mean, not that thought provoking is bad. It's just a wow, you know. Anyways, I'll be hosting Valkraz because Valkraz is streaming. He started streaming on the same time as me. He's still going right now. All right, appreciate y'all coming here. Let me just type in the raid. Valkraz. All right. Let me check who's here. Just make sure I get yes. FTO payer, definitely not Donnie. Yes, 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 yes. If you like what you saw here and you're not already following, give me a follow. I'll be streaming a good game tomorrow. The schedule's on my Twitter if you want to see everything I'm streaming this week as well. Alright, take care everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I know I will. I think. Man, pizza here, so I'll probably enjoy it with the pizza. Alright, see ya. Eesh. Raid. Yep. Alright, see you everyone. Have a good night.